Welcome back to Geometry. We're at section 12.3, Inscribed Angles. An inscribed angle is an angle whose vertex lies on the circle. Alright, for these, if we recall previous knowledge and information, if we have a central angle, let's say this was a 90-degree angle, that means the measure of its arc would be 90 degrees as well. So they match. So whatever this central angle is, we can say the measure of the arc is the same. Well, today we learn a new rule, is that when we have an inscribed angle, which will be an angle that shapes on the outside of a circle like so, the rule says this: if this is a 50-degree angle, that means the measure of its intercepted arc is going to be double. It's going to be 100 degrees. Okay, and if we said this was arc AB, and let's put point C here, we would say that measure of arc AB equals 100 degrees. Alright, and then the other new term we have is, it's not really new, but the intercepted arc would be from A to B, the arc that lies in the interior of the inscribed angle. So this arc lies in the interior of this inscribed angle. And here's our theorem that says the measure of an inscribed angle is one half the measure of the intercepted arc. Alright, on problem 1, we have 60 degrees here. We have 50 degrees here. We take 360 minus 110. Gives us a remaining 250 degrees for y. And if you look at angle x's intercepted arc, let's go ahead and highlight angle x. There's angle x. There's its intercepted arc. Well, angle x is going to be half of 250 degrees. We get 125 degrees. Alright, next, let's start with angle x. We highlight it. We see that angle x's intercepted arc is 150. So x is going to be a 75-degree angle because it covers 150. Alright, if we have 70, 80, that's 150, 90, that's 240. If we take 360 minus 240, we get 120. So this amount right here is 120 degrees for arc FG. Alright, which means when I look at inscribed angle Y, 70 plus 120 is 190, and that would give me 70 plus 120 is 190. That would give me a 95-degree angle for angle Y. Alright, next, angle 60 degrees. Here's its intercepted arc. A has to be 120 degrees. Alright, what else do we know? We have 30 degrees here. Okay, let's go ahead and add up 120 and 30. So we add up 120 and 30, we get 150 degrees, and that's angle B. So angle B would be half of 150. Angle B would be a 75-degree angle. Alright, let's head over to the next page. Alright, so we're going to start off with theorem 12.9. We have two inscribed angles that intercept the same arc are congruent. Now, let's make a drawing of this. So here's one circle, and we have two inscribed angles inside the same circle. So let's show this angle, and so we can call this angle X. And then we're going to draw a second angle in there. And we're going to call this angle Y. Well, what we can now say is that the measure of angle Y is congruent equal to the measure of angle X. And the reason being is that if you look at the endpoints of these two angles, they cover the same intercepted arc. So angle X and angle Y have to be the same measure because their intercepted arc is the same measure. So this is what the theorem 12.9 rule A is saying. Alright, rule B, let's draw a picture first. Here's our circle. And we're going to draw a semicircle or a diameter. And then we're going to inscribe an angle so that its endpoints cover that diameter. Okay? And so an angle inscribed in a semicircle is a right angle. So we're going to say that since the intercepted arc is 180 degrees, right? That means this angle has to be a 90-degree angle. I can put a box. So angle X is equal to 90 degrees. Alright, then rule C says this. If we draw a quadrilateral inside a circle, and it can be any shape. Oh, that's not a quadrilateral, excuse me. There we go. So there's our quadrilateral. Let's erase this. And so what this new rule is saying is that if, let's say that we have a 80-degree angle here, then the opposite angle is going to be 100 degrees because these two angles will always be supplementary. So opposite angles are supplementary. So we want to say that the opposite angles of a quadrilateral inscribed in a circle are supplementary. Alright, then the last rule we have is that the measure of an angle formed by a chord. And actually, before we do this, let's solve these problems because theorem 12.10 revolves around this question. So we're actually going to try and solve it first, and then we'll jump back to this theorem. So here we have a chord that goes through the center. It's a straight line, so we know that it's a diameter, which means this intercepted arc is going to be 180 degrees, which means angle A is a 90-degree angle. And then focusing on B, this is 90 and 32. Let's see, that would be 180 minus 122, which gives us a 58-degree angle. So when we look at B, its intercepted arc is covered by the 58-degree angle, so that would be 116 degrees. Alright, next problem. Let's first start with the intercepted arc of 120. That means this angle is going to be 60 degrees. Next, if we have 60 and 36, that's 96. So that would give us 84 degrees for angle X. And if angle X is 84 degrees, that means this intercepted arc, let's highlight that angle, would be 168 degrees. Okay, so next we want to find angle Y. Let's highlight this intercepted arc. So 168 plus 120 is 288. We subtract 360 minus 288. And we would get 72 degrees for the arc. And so what this new rule is saying, because this angle Y is not an inscribed angle. This angle is the measurement angle formed by a chord. Yeah, hi. I'm calling because and a tangent line. So let's review what we have so far. We're saying that angle Y, all right, is not an inscribed angle. Angle Y is formed by a chord. Here's our chord in red. And a tangent line. Here's our tangent line in blue, that's going to come through. And when that happens, the angle that's formed, y, is going to equal 1/2 the measure of its intercepted arc. So it's really the same rule that we have with an inscribed angle. Okay, we're going to say that angle y is going to be half of its intercepted arc. So y would have to be half of 72 degrees, which would be 36 degrees. Alright, and then our last problem, we have an inscribed angle. This is 200. This is a pretty easy problem. Angle W has to be 100 degrees. Thanks for joining us once again. See you next time.